Okay, everybody, how are you today? Excellent. We're here to welcome Mr. Robert Adut. He is a TikTok influencer and math stream presenter for Carnegie Math. You guys have been using his programs in your classes, so I'm sure you're going to recognize him, some of you. And so we want to give a nice, polite welcome to Mr. Robert Adut.
Thank you. Before we get cracking, please join me. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Oh, it turned off. Oh, turned off. You dude, do not leave me out here. Let's go. I'll get out. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Let's go, come on. Give me one. Come on. Teachers. You know this song. Come on. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, whoa. Hey, Sean, come on, man. Live your life. Yeah, come on. Hold it. Yeah. Get up. Let me see it. I'm going to stand on your chair. Hold this. Thank you. Next time, dance with me. I was ready to have a dance party with you guys. One more song, a chance? Or you're not? No? No, I'm going to give you one more chance. I picked this music for you. I picked this for you. One more song. One more. Come on. Don't leave me. Don't leave me out here. Don't leave me out here. One more song. We tell you to sit down and be quiet all the time. All the time we say sit down and be quiet. Now I'm asking you to get up. I'm asking you to get up. You always say sit down, be quiet, sit down, be quiet, sit down, be quiet. Now I'm telling you to stand and not be quiet. Come on, baby. Yeah. 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 you go. Clapping's cool. Party up in Asheville Middle School. Party! Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go. Welcome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah! Yeah! Come on, man. Come on. Your last chance. Last chance. Come on. Just off the camera. Off the camera. Off the camera. Over here. Over here. Look. Look. Off the camera. Off the camera. Yeah, just go. Yeah. There we go. Any more? It's a good song, right? Any more? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Give yourselves a hand. Let's go. Clap it up. I don't want to turn it off. I'm sweating. Oh, God. Hey, thank you for stepping up there on the second round. Thank you. That was awesome. Seriously, give noise for yourself for that. I know it wasn't perfectly comfortable. One more time, clap it up for yourselves. Teachers, thank you. Thank you so much. Right, look. We spend so much time in this dynamic asking you to sit down, and you do so well, you know. Just thought it'd be, if I catch my breath, thought it'd be fun to bring you up here to enjoy a little standing and dancing. So, you know what we did just now was an act of trust. Do you agree? Do you agree at first? Like maybe you've seen me on the screen, right? Say yo if you see me on the screen. Yo. Okay, so maybe like 10% of you.
I'll have to.
Actually, if you see me on the screen, say yo so I can hear it so I understand. Yo. Okay, yeah, so that's more than 10%, right? And so maybe you get a feel like, this guy and the other guys, the other people on the screen, maybe we trust him a little. He seems like he cares. I will let you know that I do. It's an act of trust. And you know that trust, have you ever heard the expression, trust must be earned? Have you heard that before? No. Yes. Yeah, sometimes people say, my trust has to be earned, right? I actually disagree with that. I don't like that so much. I understand it. But to me, trust is a gift. Trust is a gift. Trust, a gift that you give to someone with your heart. Right? Have you ever given a gift to someone? Raise your hand if you've given a gift before. Right? Raise your hand if you've received a gift. Other hand. Do you agree that the giving of the gift is sacred, not just for the person getting it, but for the giver? You ever looked at someone as they were giving the gift? Everyone looks at the opener. What's your name?
Oh, Jonathan.
Jonathan. That's a beautiful name. Yeah, I have a cousin named Jonathan. So have you ever looked at the person who gave the gift? They look like this, like, I'm so happy you like it, right? It's an exchange. Trust is a gift of exchange. So I want to take our trust to the next level. And I'm going to ask for a brave volunteer to join me, if you'd like.
What are we doing, dancing?
To do, that already happened. We're going to do the trust fall game. All right. Give it up, give it up, give it up. What's your name? What's your name? Say it again.
Deja.
Deja. All right, Deja's going to play trust fall game. Here we go. Put this down so I have hands. Here we go. So hi. Welcome.
Thank you.
So look, with trust, you know, look, you can see her right now, like she's brave. With trust, right, you can't just jump in, I trust you fully 100%. I'm not expecting that of you, right? And I wouldn't. Trust is built in. So I thank you for the gift of being here. It means that you have the ability to trust, you have the ability to receive and give gifts, and that's kind of one of the purposes of life, all right? So what we're gonna do is, we'll start real slow, like I'm not gonna do big drops or anything. Just put your hands in like this, all right? Face that way, okay? Put hands here, okay? Okay, so until you're ready, see, look at her face, it's cool. Maybe face this way, there you go. See the face? All right, until you're ready, I'm not gonna let go.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
We'll do this part until you get bored.
Okay.
Okay, take a breath. All right, give it up for once more. All right. Now, you can't make too much noise because we have to communicate, okay? Here we go. Okay, hands on. Okay, I've done this with my own daughters many times. Okay. Go ahead, back up a little. Okay. So, go, there you go, see it? We'll just do this for a little while.
Okay.
Are you breathing? Take a deep breath. Everyone take a breath with her. Right, yeah, good. Feel the experience with her. Here we go. Okay, you saw it let go a little, right? All right, good. You okay? Oh, she's it. I don't know if you could tell. It's like you could see there's a relaxation. Do you see it? Do you feel it? It's almost in the air. I could see it already. I didn't even tell her that I was gonna let go. I didn't tell her. Good job. Good. But we kind of both knew that she was ready. Go. Very nice. Okay, pause. So there's an expression, take a break. There's an expression in Farsi. My parents were born in Iran, and we say bah. Bah means it's so good, it's so great. You eat it like when you eat really good food. And when I get really into it, I start saying like bah. So you're welcome to try to say that. It's just like awesome, good on you, great work. A few more rounds, and then we'll see how it goes. You feel okay? Okay, yeah, you're doing great. Okay, here we go. Deja coming back, here we go. All right, last few rounds. I mean, you got to give her credit for being up here. It's so cool, right? Trust is a gift. Do you understand? Do you realize how honored I am right now? I'm so honored right now. There you go. Look, she's doing great. Not one break. If she really needed to, she could put her foot back if she wanted to. It's not a problem. She's doing great. She's having fun too. Don't mistake shaking for not having fun. Deja, is it fun? Yeah. All right, 3, 2, last one. Yeah, all right. Yeah. That was not nothing. You can have a seat, yeah. Give it up for one more time. All right. Shirley, take a, oops. Is this still, yeah. Deja, catch your breath real quick. And then I'm gonna, it's okay, it's working. Just catch your breath real quick, and I just have like a couple questions. I think people are curious about what you were feeling and stuff. Would you be willing to share your experience with what that was? Come on, one more time. Give it up. Do you have that, Kevin, do you have the second mic? All right. So, look, there's no right or wrong answer to this. There's no right or wrong answer, right? It's not a test. It's just how you felt. So any of the first feelings that came to mind, what that was like for you? Go ahead. You could hold it. Go ahead.
I was scared.
Right into the mic, yeah?
I was scared.
Okay, I was scared, okay? But you were still doing it. Why?
Because I thought it would be fun.
Okay, scared and fun at the same time, okay? Did you think that you would fall at any moment?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stop?
Because I trusted you.
Because I trusted you, she said. So even though it's scary, giving and receiving trust can be fun, and I didn't think I would fall, even though I was scared the whole time. Do you realize that's really big, right? Because you felt fear in front of all these people, and you still owned it and had fun through it. And I think that's very brave and heroic. I just love that so much. Give it to her one more time. Thank you. Thank you. That was so good. I didn't really, the thing that I learned, I've done this so often, like with my kids and with my own kids. Oh, I messed up the mic when I pulled it off. Sorry. Oh, there it is. That's okay. Good job. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I've done this so often that I forget that it could be scary, you know? Because I know I have her. I know I had her. Did you know I had her? Is there any doubt? Does anyone raise your hand if you had any doubt? It's okay. You're not wrong if you had doubt. Okay, fair enough, right? I mean, it is, yeah. It's fair to have doubt, right? But I was really impressed by that. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through what we plan to do for the rest of the time, okay? And then join me on the journey. And then that'll be it for our time today, all right? We have a few goals. I know, there's more. Don't worry. All right, so we had dance party, check. We demonstrated the power and the gift of trust, check, all right. The next thing, right, because we believe in the power of math, I've been asked and I'm honored to give you what I hope to be a short to medium math lesson of what you're already seeing right there on the board. I hope to make it interesting and engaging for you, right? I thought a lot about how it can make sense for you, so definitely we're going to do that. Then I thought after that I would maybe tell you some stories that have changed my life. Hopefully they can change your life as well for the positive, anything that gets you thinking. And then I'm going to ask you some questions about what you thought about the story and whether you think I did the right thing or whether you agree with that moment, all right? And following that, if we have time, I'm going to invite possibly someone up to do what we call the Love Math Challenge. Do we have that in the hopper program, folks? Yeah? Okay. This is Nashon, right? Hey, Nashon, say hey, wave hi, everyone. What's up? All right, Nashon, scale of 1 to 10, dude. Scale of 1 to 10. Again, no wrong answer. This is just how you feel. You won't offend me. You won't offend me at all. How do you feel about math where 10 is like, I love it, and 1 is like, it's not for me? It's okay. And no one's going to judge him, right? Right? No. Right on. Some people are like, yes. Okay, yeah. 9? Okay, so he loves it already. Oh, are we calling shenanigans? You don't have to say the number that you think I would like, man. All right. So that's the plan, all right? 3 things left. Okay. So let's start with that. Do we have markers? Markers for the board. All right. While we get.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So while we wait for that, would you like to get into the story now while we wait for the markers? Do that? All right, okay. Oh, okay, I'll save it, because it's actually part of the next step. Thank you, Kelly.
There's more coming, Robert.
Okay, this is plenty. And an eraser. Some sort of eraser. Let me see. Right hand. There you go. I got the one hand. Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thanks. All right, great. Okay, so. Show of hands, just so I could get a vibe of the room. Who's heard of functions before? All right. Now, who feels confident by show of hands that if I asked you like the textbook definition of a function, that you'd be able to? That's what makes people like, ew! Ah! Right? And by the way, okay, it's okay if it's yes. It's okay if yes. Is that a yes there? That's cool. That's a yes there. Good. Own what you know. Own what you know. That's right. That's right. So it's kind of interesting. So we're somewhere on the line from, I have a feeling for what I've seen functions before, but if you ask me to define it like out of the dictionary or Google, maybe I wouldn't be able to. So we're going to bridge that gap today. All right? And I'm going to do it in a way that I hope makes sense. I hope people can see this. I'm using the broad side of the marker. There you go. So suppose this is a graph, standard graph. Oh, you see it, Bob? Thank you. So imagine this is time, and this is the temperature right here, let's just say. All right, I'm going to plot some points, and I want you to tell me, once they're plotted, if it makes sense in real life. All right, so take a second. Could that happen in reality? Yes, interesting. I get a lot of yeses. Can I get a hand to explain what's going on in the living of life? All right, yes, so what's your name? Real loud, and then you got to be loud about it, okay? Go ahead. My name is Michael. The time is what? Okay, the time is increasing, you said? Yeah, while the temperature is what? Okay, you got one of those. You got one of those. Ah, good self-correction. Very nice. So Michael, is that your name?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's going.
Yeah, sorry. That's on me. Oh, then you were right based on how you saw it. Oh, good job. Okay, I'm going to fix it. I meant to do the constant. So yeah, then the way you saw it was correct. Okay. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Is that a little better? Like that? So yeah. Did I make it go down? I'm trying to make it constant, people. I'm a human. All right, so let's actually make up some numbers that would fit, you know. So time is increasing. Should we increase by hours or something? Like, yeah, what's the first hour? What o'clock? 1 o'clock, yeah. En heure, 12 heures. Am I getting it right? How's my French? All right, so here we have time. And we have temperature, and we have 1 o'clock, and we have 2 o'clock, and we have 3 o'clock, and we have 4 o'clock, good, and call out the temperature. What is it? 60. I'm telling you, I always like defer to 60 for some reason. It's like I don't know whether that's subconscious that we all do that. So, the way Michael said it was very mathematically true. He said a mathematically true statement. He said words like increase and constant. Now I want someone else to talk about what's happening actually as a person, like when you look at your phone or you check the weather online or something like that. What's going on in life here? What's happening in life? You don't have to use math words for it. Nice and loud, please. Thank you for volunteering. Temperature stays the same throughout the day. That's right, exactly right. Yeah, I wouldn't change a word for that. Good. Temperature stays. So this is actually a nice show of support. Great job. So this would actually work. This would function in real life. All right, time, temperature. I appreciate your focus, friends. Some say focus is a lost art in the modern era. You're proving everyone wrong, and it's beautiful to witness all your faces. It's really nice. All right, here we go. All right, I'm starting to get some murmurs from the crowd, some people not pleased. So, would this happen in real life? No. Yeah, interesting. You know that instinctively. That's why I love doing it this way. So, volunteer to tell us why this would not happen in real life. Yes, please, young lady with the glasses. What's your name? Loud?
Clara.
Clara, go ahead. Nice and loud.
It's because time keeps going and never stops. Time
keeps going and never stops. I understand your argument. Could you go elaborate a little more about why this is wrong? What would be happening in life if this was the case? Maybe you could say something like, how can, ask a question. That would. Go ahead. How can, you want to pass it off? It's cool. You want to? Someone at the table, your neighbor? Nice and loud.
I was saying that temperature can't increase while time isn't moving.
The temperature can't increase while time isn't moving. I like that. I like that. In fact, we could go a step further and imagine, right? What's your name?
Nora.
Nora. Okay, Nora. Nora's gonna ask me the temperature right now. It's a pretend thing. So ask me the temperature.
What's the temperature?
I thought you would never ask. Let me look. It's 60, 70, 80, and 90 degrees. And yeah, she would say, what? And maybe you would, what would you ask in response to that? What would you say?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, right? Like, I need more clarification. You may ask, oh, you mean like 60, 70, 80, and 90 degrees, like here, and then in like Texas, and in Hawaii, and Japan, like that? And I go, no, right here. Like, oh, you mean like this year, next year, the year after? Like, no, right here, right now. And that's literally impossible, right? And this happens throughout life. I'll put the phone away. This happens throughout life. Would you ever go to a restaurant and order some sort of juice or something, right? Like, how much for the juice? It'll be $3, $4, and $5. For the same juice? Yes. At the same time? Yes. Not tomorrow, the next, no. So does this function? No. What, let's actually graph it. I'll put a table. And then we're gonna look at the stock market. And then that's it for the math. All right, yeah, give me an example of what this would be depicting. What's that? 2 o'clock? All right, 2 o'clock. What's the temperature at 2 o'clock for this one, let's say? 1 degree, so cold day. Okay, 1 degree, fine. Let's put it here like degrees. Yeah, we should do this. La 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 la. All right, and then 2 o'clock, 2 degrees. Sure, whatever you want. It's yeah, and then 2 o'clock, 3 degrees, and 2 o'clock, 4 degrees. You feeling? Right. Not 40. Yeah. You guys are used to this cold weather out here, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, so this wouldn't work. So how can you tell if something does not function? It doesn't function. I like the parallel between the math and reality. That just doesn't function, doesn't feel right. How can you tell from a table if something's not a function? You could call it out loud. Go ahead, call it out. Each domain doesn't have its own value in the range. So that's the end of the line. Bravo. So that's a home run answer. Bravo. Each element of the domain needs to have one element of the range. I'm going to come back to that. I want something a little more self-evident. Like, what do you see here that's not happening here? What's the immediate thing that you see that makes you be like, it's not a function? Hold on. Say it again. Okay, so do you want to say, like, if you want to call it X and Y, for example? We could call it that. We could call it domain range. Talk to me about repeating. That's what I want to hear. Good. Right. Basically, X repeats. The input repeats. The domain repeats. And that's the immediate tell from this. The second you see 2, 1, 2, 2, bam, it's not a function. My goal by the end of today is that you can look at a table and go like this. And know it's not a function. Right? I think you can. Wait a second. Wait. Whoa. Hold on. Is Y or the range allowed to repeat for it to be a function? Isn't that interesting? Does function. Right, so I'm turning it into a verb, right? But it's really An adjective? Or a noun? A function. It's a noun. Right. So X can't repeat. X can't repeat. Okay, so we could go like this to tables. And know that it's not a function or a function. How can you tell from a graph whether it's a function? And you might want to show me with your arm. Yeah, show me with your arm what would make it not a function, right? It's almost like, right, what's this test called? Say it.
Vertical line test.
Vertical line test, right? If you could draw any vertical line and it hits how many times? Two or more, it's
Not a function.
all right. Before we throw it on the board, let's all say it together. A vertical line test means if you hit the graph
2 or more times, it's not a function.
any questions, honestly, you may. Now's the time. Please, I'm going to come over to you. Thank you for asking. What's your name?
Kendra,
Kendra. Hey, Kendra. What's your question, please?
the graph is a discrete graph.
Ooh, a discrete. Okay, we're going to take a bonus round. Woo! Bonus round, discrete. Nice. Versus what starts with the letter C, right? Continuous, right. The same vertical line test would apply. The same vertical line test would apply. So any graph, if we hit 2 times or more, y'all, I want to be in there. The same vertical line test would apply. So, Kevin, can you throw that up, please? Good job. So, raise your hand if you've heard of stock before, stocks, right? So real quick, raise your hand if you don't know basically about what stocks are. It's okay if no. It's okay, yeah. Right, you've heard of it before. Okay, I'll frame it briefly, okay? The idea is, this is the stock for Apple, right? Apple stock, that's the AAPL there. And the basic idea is, if you want to invest your money, if you want to take some money that you have and put it away and not spend it for an amount of time, then over time, the value that you put away will grow. And the way that works is, you buy a little piece of ownership of the company. And that little piece of ownership is called a stock. And you could buy one little unit out of, let's say, thousands of units of Apple stock. You could buy one unit today, right now, for, can you get it to, is this today? Okay, great. So that's the price. If you went online right now and you wanted to buy one unit of stock, it would be $188 per unit, right? So you could buy that one stock of Apple for $188. And you could see the price has gone up and down over the course of 1 year-ish, right? So this is 2024, November. Oh, so this looks like half a year maybe, right? We're like roughly half a year, maybe 3-4 months. And if you bought it back here, it's kind of cool. You made some money. If you bought it in October, you know, it's looking like 100. Is that right? Oh yeah, 175-ish. What is that? Yeah. So good job. Yeah, if you bought it back then, 166, 168. And today, if you sold it, if you bought it for 168 and sold it for 188, you'd make $20. So that's basically how it works. The reason I'm showing this to you is, does the stock graph pass the vertical line test? It better. Can you imagine how crazy it would be if you went to go buy a share of Apple stock and then you looked at the price and it's like $188, $198, and $208. You'd be like, what's the price? So functions present themselves throughout real life, throughout reality, right? It better function. Otherwise, reality doesn't exist. Any questions on that? All right. Thank you. That concludes the math component of our lesson. Thank you so much. Do you need to stand up and stretch your legs and take a breath? You want to do it? No dancing. You want to do it? Take a minute. If anyone who wants to stand up, stretch their legs, take a breath, and then I'll meet you back with the story. All right? All right. So with your permission, I'd like to share with you a moment in my life that hopes to get you thinking. Sorry for my back, friends. I'm trying to get as close to as many people as possible. So I want to bring you back, all right? So I was a math teacher for many years in the classroom. just like many of your teachers here. And one year I decided that it'd be really fun, because I'm very fascinated by psychology, right, arts. I'm fascinated by psychology, that I wanted to teach a psychology class at the high school where I taught. And the principal said, sure, great. Go to the community college over summer and we'll pay for you to take a class so you brush up on your psychology. I also studied that in college. And then come back and teach class when you return. I was 30 years old at the time, and when I went to the community college that summer, I was surrounded by people that were just out of high school, right? They're like 18, 19 years old. And has anyone ever taken a summer class, what, math or not? No, okay. So summer classes are pretty intense, because you know it's a less amount of time, so you have to meet, it was a Monday through Thursday, for like 4 hours on one class with one break, you know. And so I went to the class, I was really excited, you know, I was wearing flip-flops and shorts, I was out in California, I was loving it, I was like, I'm so happy I could just take a class, I don't have to worry about the grade, I'm just here to learn. I told that to the teacher, he's like, oh, it's great, you could just enjoy and take it all in. But I had a problem, is the desks. The desk was like low and small and really hard. And when I went to sit down, I was like, I can't live like this for 4 hours a day, every day. So I did the logical thing. I went to Target and got a patio seat cushion for $12. And I brought it to class, and I was so happy. I was like, I cracked the code. I solved the problem, right? And then all of a sudden, I got to experience maybe something that you experience in your day-to-day life or once in a while. I'm wondering if this kind of thing happens. I experienced someone not showing kindness. Has anyone ever experienced someone being unkind to them? Yeah? Is it like I'm seeing like, yeah. You know it's like kind of the top of the brain stuff. Yeah? Yeah, you know it? No? No, yeah. It happened to you. You want the mic? No. Okay. Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I experienced someone being unkind. And you know what? I had been out of school as a student for so long. Well, I'll tell you what happened. All right. So I had my seat cushion. I was like just high on the horse. I was like so happy, you know. And then there's the dude who's just out of high school, right? The guy who thought he could do stuff to me that in hindsight, I didn't even realize what he was doing. He did one of these things, like, oh, this guy here has a seat cushion. He brought his seat cushion to class. Look at this guy. He was trying to make me feel self-conscious. Isn't that one way that people make you feel? It's unkind, like a self-conscious thing, you know? And he was trying to get the troops. Hey, let's all sort of make this person, I'm not actually doing it to you, don't worry. It's a demonstration. I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you. And he was trying to rally the troops, you know, the dude, like, hey, this guy with the seat cushion, ha ha ha. I didn't know he was doing that. I didn't realize it. I thought he was celebrating with me. So, yeah, right? So this is what I did. I was like, I know, right? Isn't it so cool? I got a seat cushion, and now, you know, like tailbone, no problemo. I would bring a beanbag if I could. I remember saying that. I would bring a beanbag here, but it'd be like a distraction to the rest of the class, right? Yeah, I don't want to bring a beanbag to class, but like, yeah, isn't that, I'm so pleased with my idea. And dude didn't know what to do. I think his brain kind of short-circuited a little. He did one of these like, it was like, this is called the Cabbage Patch dance, like, right? He was doing the shoulder shrug Cabbage Patch dance, rotating away from me because he didn't know how to react. He was like, yeah, I don't know, you guys, you like the seat cushion? I don't know. I guess you like the seat cushion. I don't know what to do with this energy. Because I didn't feed into it. I didn't realize it. I didn't take the bait, is what I'm trying to say. You realize he baited me. If someone is ever being unkind to you, do you perceive a bait being laid? Like trying to trap you? You ever get that? I always wonder, like, what do you do with that? What do you do with bait? Right? Do you like slap the bait away? No, not today. Or do you take the bait and realize it after? What I did was different, right? What I did was, it's actually a math reference. Have you heard of skew lines? Have you taken that? It's like lines that go in opposite directions and never touch and aren't parallel. One line goes this way, one line goes this way. I was completely on a different level as him. I was not in his energy. And I'm wondering whether that makes sense to you. If someone's being unkind, can you change the energy and get away from it? Not necessarily take the bait, not necessarily say, oh, that's not nice, but be on a different frequency. Yeah? Because I believe that hurt people hurt people. Have you heard that expression? Hurt people hurt other people. Yeah. And that's what we tell our kids. That's what we tell our kids. If someone's being unkind to you, they must be like going through so much. Doesn't excuse it. Doesn't make it okay. But we know that someone who's feeling joy and happiness wouldn't do that to other people. All right? Any thoughts or comments about that? Anyone want to share a story of unkindness and what the bait was, maybe? What do you think? Anyone? Because look, I saw people going like this when people are unkind. I don't know. Are you shy? You know, talk to me. Talk to me. Like, you don't have to be specific. I don't want any names. I don't want anything that you don't want to share. You could be general. You could talk about something you saw. You could talk about something that experienced maybe last year or the year after. You could talk about anything like that to frame it, because I told you about what happened to me. I'm interested in what happened to you. All right? I flew here to hear from you. I don't want to talk the whole time. I flew here to hear from you. No? Yeah? Thank you. Nora, right? No? No, where's Nora? There's Nora. Okay, sorry. There's 1, 2. 1, 2. What's your name again?
Kendra.
Kendra, that's right, Kendra. Ends with an X, sorry. It's like same spot. Okay. Kendra, thank you. Yeah, just whatever, what do you want to share? Thank you for doing this. Go ahead, take that. Hold it. Hold right into there.
We're kind to each other, and
Go ahead. There you go.
and everybody is the same. We all came from the same person, God. And when something bad happens, you report it, and then we stop pain.
We stop pain, you said.
Stop hating.
Stop hating.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That was a great message to conclude that. Thank you so much for doing that. That took a lot of courage. All right. Okay. Stop hating. Stop being unkind to each other. You don't have to buy into people being unkind. You don't have to take the bait. You don't have to get into that energy with them. That's not your life. It could be other people's lives. Awesome. I know the look of someone who has something to say.
So,
Go ahead.
I have a friend here, and
Okay, I wanted to hear this, please. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, no names. Yeah.
So I'm gonna call him K.
Okay.
So he's good at math, and he have other friends, but he have other students too. But when he's not here, other students talk bad about him behind his back. And one day I was in the hallway and some of them was bullying him, and I say, don't you realize what they saying and what they doing? He said yes, but he didn't take my advice. And he keep helping them even though they keep bullying him. And
Wow.
I love that.
So he didn't stop it? What?
No.
What did he?
Keep helping them.
Oh, helping them with their math.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they didn't appreciate it. They didn't.
That's a really interesting story. Do you hear what this person did? You hear what this person did? I just want to take a moment. I didn't get your name.
Nice. My name is Naisha.
Naisha.
Yes.
Thank you for that. That's a story. That's similar to what I talked about. Like, he didn't. I wonder about Kay's future. When you live like that, he's high up. It's a beautiful thing.
That's true.
Because you're going to experience the stuff, right? You're going to experience the stuff. I'm not going to, I'll call you if you don't want.
Okay.
But it's true. You felt that. You felt that. Yeah. Okay, one more. Yeah. Is this real?
Yeah.
I'm trusting you. Trust is a gift.
Trust.
All right. No, I believe him. Yeah.
My bike got stolen.
Okay. And?
And someone jumped in my window, stole three pairs of shoes. Not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, it was very tragic.
It sucks. Yeah. And how did you feel?
I don't know.
You felt like upset.
I still didn't get one pair of shoes back.
So, what's your name? Jordan. So Jordan had his bike stolen and shoes stolen, and even though he's smiling, I could tell it bothers you.
Nah.
It does not bother you?
Nah.
Why does it not bother you?
Because they don't.
Because what?
It just doesn't.
Oh, okay. How can you explain? Because, right, logic would state that if something was stolen from you, especially something of value, logic, right? I like your answer. Now I'm curious. Logic would state, I feel so violated. I feel betrayed. I feel unsafe. I feel all the words. But Jordan, you're saying it didn't bother you.
Nah.
Why not?
I just didn't care. I cared about my bike though.
Cared about the bike, but the shoes not. Okay, so hey, right, maybe we could draw inspiration from Jordan that no one got hurt and it was just stuff, right, Jordan? It was just stuff at the end of the day. At the end of the day, even though it's valuable, you weren't hurt, so you can. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go.
So back in 7th grade, I always used to get like buzz cuts, right?
Okay.
And one day, I cut mine a little too low, but I still got a liquid. I hop into school, and then everyone's making fun of me, you know, and saying like meaningful things, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So, but you know, after the first day, I went back. I started crying because everyone was so mean, and yeah. But after the first day, I realized that it doesn't really even matter what I look like. We all bleed the same, so you know. So yeah.
I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Oh my God. Man, it's so good. That's what a. You know, you have to realize how much courage that takes to talk about stuff like that. And I too I was my hairstyle of choice when I was your age, right? And like, let this be a moment. Maybe. You're in 8th grade together. You're probably going to be in 9th grade together right next year. Maybe, no? Okay. Well, some of you are, and you're here for the rest of the year. Maybe, just maybe, we can create an agreement that no one is going to make anyone. What's your name?
Quentin.
No one is going to make anyone feel the way Quentin did last year. Do you agree that we're going to make that promise right now, today?
Yes.
Awesome, dude. That's what courage is about, talking to the people. Good stuff, man. That's hard to do. All right, last one. Is Josh? No, what's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, excuse me. All right, Daniel, please, go.
I remember this one time last year,
All right, please, Daniel's going.
I was playing basketball and I fell and everyone started laughing at me. And the next day, I saw that people were making edits about me falling and I didn't feel good about that.
Right, you know, thank you for sharing that. So give it up for Daniel for doing that. You know what it is, right? They're uncomfortable and they don't know how to experience that discomfort. It's not okay that people do that. But it's an act of, it's not okay. It's not okay that people do that. Own your discomfort. If you're uncomfortable, feel it. Maybe go and help someone up the way you would want. Right? It's okay to feel big feelings. It's okay to feel big feelings. All right. Well, I don't think we need to go wall to wall. I just want to thank you for welcoming us today. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Thank you for learning. Thank you for dancing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your attention. And thank you for your heart. Thank you for your heart. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for that story. And remember, Kay, I'm curious about Kay's life. I think Kay is a winner, you know? And thank you for the agreement that no one is going to make anyone feel that way anymore in this space. And tell you what, your life will be better for it. All right, later.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and being involved. As I know most of you know the Carnegie people who are here as they were walking around. I think that, I'm sure you know Erin, she's been here a lot, Erin Smith. How do you say it wrong? Christina or? Kristen, who's also from Carnegie, Tyree, who's done a lot of work with MathStream, Jamie Sterling, who's one of the product developers of the MathStream, Jerry Comer, who does all the data, who like I hassle every single day of the week. When you guys have a problem, he's my go-to person. Of course, you all know Sue and Monica, and Tina just presented. So who we have here today is Robert Aduke, who came here. He's one of the MathStream influences. I'm sure the kids were so excited at Ashfield today. It was really a great day. They gave him a lot of feedback on the MathStream, as well as just, you know, the excitement. It was really cool. We met with all the 8th graders. We did a great function lesson. I actually just shared it with some 8th grade teachers, great strategy. But with no further ado, I welcome them up here, and please give him your undivided attention. Put those phones away. Middle schoolers don't use phones. That's what I keep telling high schoolers. All right? So we're not going to have our phones up. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Hi. Hey. Can we take one collective breath together? Can we do it? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. I don't take this time for granted. I know you've been in sessions, and I'm in that with you. So I appreciate your presence. I appreciate doing this with you, and I hope you walk away with something that resonates with you as much as it does for me. So the first thing that I'll ask, I should take this off here, is jumping straight to the core of the matter, what you think the student's greatest fear is. I mean, isn't that really what we're really talking about? Ultimately, if we want to inspire them, we have to remove blockages. So what are the fears, the deepest fears that you think students experience? Yeah, go ahead, call it out.
Failure.
Failure, fear of failure. Yeah, we've heard that one. Yes. Yeah. What else?
Embarrassment.
Embarrassment. Yes. Yes.
Getting it wrong.
Yeah, being wrong, which even by itself is neutral, but they've stigmatized it as bad. Right. Right. These are good. Embarrassment, fear of failure, getting it wrong. Maybe one more? Too hard. Their fear that it's too hard. Right. So who said too hard? Hey, hi. What's your name?
Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. So embarrassment, too hard. We're going to talk about the opposite of hard. It's easy a little later today about what it means to be easy. But to me, the biggest fear underneath all of it that really speaks to the examples that we heard today is this concept of inadequacy. And that's the fear, I believe, because it ascends into adulthood, right? We don't want to be inadequate in front of our peers, in front of our teacher, in front of our families, in front of our employers, in front of every social group that we have. And so if we're talking about eradicating this fear of anxiety, I actually have been thinking about this a lot, and I thought, what better way to explore it than with a really fun and safe prank to explore that trope. And it was an April Fool's prank. And before you get concerned, right, I believe we all lead with love with our students. One of the mantras about pranking is confuse, don't abuse. So you have to lead with love, right, when you're doing a prank. But here's the prank, and it's pretty pretty fire, as the kids say. Anyway, so this is what it was. Half the students were away on a field trip. While they were gone, the other half and I conspired to, when they returned, that we would teach a lesson that made absolutely no sense, but then pretend that it does. And we would watch as the returning students' minds slowly unraveled before us. And so we did that. Would you like to see a video of it? Yes. All right, cool. Okay, while we get that started, can I just define the term what math anxiety is? Let's define the term because it's a scientific definition. We'll get the term out of the way because it's fascinating and it's really interesting, right? And it has to do with the amygdala. So this is what math anxiety is. Stanford University did studies on this. When the fear centers of our brain are active, fight, flight, fear, fawn. When the parasympathetic system is triggered, when adrenaline is coursing through our bodies, the processes of the parts of our brain that are responsible for doing numbers shut down. We are not wired to do math when we are in a state of fight or flight. It's akin to looking at a light bulb and asking whether the light bulb works when there's a power outage. You would never ask that question. And what happens is, I think of the amygdala, or the fear center of the brain, here we go, as a gremlin. The little reptile, the gremlin. How do gremlins sit? There you go. I just gremlin that seat. Okay. This is a gremlin, right? Gremlin's got his hand on the switch in your mind. Now call out some of those fears we heard before. What was it? Where is it? Who said it? Embarrassment. Call it out. Embarrassment. Yeah, let's get this kid. Who's got more fears? Give it to me. More fears. Give me fears. What are students afraid of?
Tigers.
In the classroom, baby. That creates. Okay, here you go. We'll come back to gremlin. We'll come back to gremlin. Go ahead. And then that creates a line right below the 3, 4. So that would be 3, 3. If I could grab it. Oh, questions? Yeah.
I have no idea what
I'm so agreed. I have no idea.
Thank you for asking.
I have no idea.
I knew this would happen. That's why I sort of left. I figured it would happen. Yeah, can you help us?
Yeah, I did it twice. So we have 2 lines. So and it's
What happens when you divide something? Yeah, question here
Okay,
and then yeah.
so my cue is what?
You have to start over.
Dividing. Like, where did this come from? I don't
have
so
right.
It's a formula that.
how do you divide XY from 3, 4? 3, 4.
Good question. How do you divide x, y? You mean how do you divide 3, 4 by x, y?
I literally, I just don't know. I can't wrap my mind around any of it.
So now look, n equals 3, so it's going to be positive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fun because that's whole choice negative. So my question. What are we doing?
Wait, time out.
Do you not get?
I don't get. Okay, I get. Okay.
You guys, I appreciate that you're asking questions, and I appreciate that you have a good attitude
You
about
have
it.
sigma.
It was hard for them too.
You have sigma xy.
Okay, you have sigma xy.
And we
Sigma
said
means sum.
we said it was going to be
Sum of something.
Wait, we said that x1, y1's going to be 3, 4.
Is this going on?
So, okay, then.
He's trying so hard. I love it. You're so curious.
I'm so lost. What's going on?
No, finish your question. I was just like reliving the moment with them that this happened before. That's why Leah's laughing. He was uncomfortable, but he was laughing, right? That's the thread that we're trying to needle through. And what we're doing is, the beautiful part of this video to me, the gem underneath, is that fear center of the brain wasn't triggered, right? So to go in like presentation mode, if you can get it, like, is that it? Is that here? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Good job. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah. So right, this is the Fear Center. So we were at the Gremlin that doesn't ruin chairs of your schools. We heard fear of failure, embarrassment. Give me one more fear that the students have in class.
Being wrong.
Being wrong, haha, we got the kid. Shbang! The ability to do the math actually is gone at this moment. And you, even as math teachers, as I descend out of gremlin mode, you as math teachers, can you imagine if there was a bump in the night, scratch at the door, and we're out there and we're listening? I'm like, what is that? What is that? How would you feel if I asked you, completing the square with a greater than 1, please? You'd probably be pretty mad at me, you know, at that moment, because we're not wired that way. We never were wired that way. There's no need to be wired that way. And so many students everywhere, all the time, walk into math class feeling like they can't do the math. That's the problem. They've conflated the fact that their brains are shut down, the math part of their brain is shut down, with the feeling that they can't do math. And if we get to talk about feelings, then we get to talk about culture. And that's part of the fun, right? So during the pandemic, I had a chance to work with students in China remotely in a room much like this. They beam me up in the front. I'm teaching entrepreneurial skills with other Western teachers. That was the job. And I learned so much about how they operate over there. And this is what I learned. For example, a student walks into your, let's say a class in China, and turns in the assignment and says, Mr. or Miss Teacher, this took me 2 hours to do. And the teacher says, respect, wow, you worked really hard on that. I can see that you used colored lines, you stapled the paper, you used graphs, you really tried, you really did your best effort. Other students like, wow, you really went for it on that. Same exact scenario over here. Mr. or Miss Teacher, here's my assignment. It took me 2 hours to do. What do we say? If a student comes into your class and says, your assignment took me 2 hours to do, what do we say? Should not take so long, we heard? Yeah. What's wrong? Oh no. Oh my goodness. Did you not get it? And then the other students chime in, it took me 25 minutes, yeah! Gets us nothing for me, right? So how can the same act be interpreted in so many different ways? There's a culture behind learning, and that culture is subjective, and it's up to us to influence it, right? The purpose is not to make it the opposite of too hard. This is one of my favorite graphs in the world, right, by Hungarian-American psychologist Mihaly. I did this one. Do you know how many times I Googled this with the freaking audio? I did it with respect. I'm not going to mince the name. But that is, with respect to him, this is what it is. And it's beautiful with math teachers, first quadrant graph, baby, right? I love it. You could see high skills when matched with low challenge leads to boredom. Low skills when matched with high challenge leads to anxiety. And our job is to match the skill with the challenge to create what we all know as a flow state. I love the flow state. You've been in the flow state before? Right? Telltale signs, you're unaware of your body, you don't know if you're tired, you don't know if you're hungry, you don't know if you need to use the bathroom at that moment. You're right there, and it's our job to find a way to not make it easy, but to make it the right challenge. In fact, I would even make a request, a kind request, that we don't use the word easy in class anymore. Because if we hand out a paper, yeah, this is easy, this will be fine for you, this will be fine for you, then we're suggesting that the goal is for things to be easy. And if things get too hard, then it's antithetical to the goal. So rather than that, this is maybe the right challenge, or this is just right for you in that moment. Right? Just something to think about. A quick, I'm going to put this back over here. I'm going to make a quick distinction, because some people get it confused. It's worth pointing out just for the next moment. Math anxiety is not the following. It's not a student comes in unprepared, takes the test, and then feels anxious. It's not that. It's the act of the brain shutting down and blocking that which is already known. So that's just an important thing. It's not the general feelings of anxiety because we're underprepared or something like that. It's the blockage in the brain, all right? And so what's the path out of it? The path out, so beautifully, the path out is baked into the problem itself. Did you know, and this blew my mind, on a neurochemical basis, that when the body releases a surge of anxiety, when we experience that anxiety, it simultaneously releases a surge of oxytocin. And oxytocin is the human connection hormone. In other words, the anxiety is also baking in the very solution for it, which is human connectivity. And we all know this on a very, very intuitive level. We know during the pandemic, for example, that life was generally very hard and lots of anxiety was in the air for all of us. We know that. But on an instinctive level, we knew it was doubly hard because the kids were isolated. Why would we say that? Because we instinctively know that in being in a state of anxiety, human connection, human closeness is one of the paths out. I just find that so fascinating, that like within the problem is the answer. So, science has proven this. So it turns out that the University of Wisconsin, I'm indecisive because I want to move with you. University of Wisconsin did this. They had a brain study in an MRI where they would actually give willing participants a small electrical shock prior to going into the MRI, and they were split into 3 cohorts. They were do it alone, hold the hand of a stranger, or hold the hand of a loved one. And sure enough, they were right in the brain scan. They can see those fear centers of the brains being activated or not, and sure enough, the people that did it isolated, they had the highest levels of anxiety, followed by holding the hands of a stranger, followed by the lowest levels, holding the hands of a loved one. Same actions, everything across the board the same. It's that human connection. How does this translate to the classroom? Well, have you ever had a student that's having an anxiety moment in class during a test maybe? Yeah? You ever had that moment? Someone anxious during a test? Has that happened to you? Yeah? Yeah? How about you guys? Have you given a test and your classes, like someone felt anxious about it? Yeah. Can we model that moment together, you and I? Okay. If you don't want to, it's fine. If someone else wants to, if that's totally okay.
That's fine.
Okay. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, okay. Let's hear. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
So you're having a tough time on this test?
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I've been there. I've definitely had hard times on tests before, and I know the feeling, and it's not fun. I'm just here to say that no matter what, when this is done, why don't we make a plan so that maybe this won't happen in the future? We'll come up with something. We'll figure it out. One way or another, you're going to be fine. You're separate from the test. Like, you're whole. You're a human being. This is just a piece of paper. It's not who you are. So would you be willing to at least just do your best in this moment, and then afterwards we'll look at it and figure out what we can do in the future?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you, can you receive my math vibes? I'm sending you math vibes now.
Got it.
You feeling them?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. And thank you, Amy. Let's give her a hand. Thank you for that. You notice the first thing that I did was I tried to get lower than you, not even eye level, right? To diminish the power dynamic, right? Because that's going to be exacerbated. So I lower than you. And I didn't dismiss your feelings. And I did what we need to do to get us out of the rabbit hole, which is to listen to the anxiety. That's the solution. That's the solution. It's to listen. It's a signal. All right. Let's make the distinction between fear and anxiety, right? They're nuanced, but they're very different. Let's say you see a bear. Fear is defined as certain knowledge of an imminent threat. If you see a bear, if we see a bear, we will experience fear. That is not anxiety. Anxiety is a chance for us to become time travelers. Anxiety, on the other hand, is defined as having apprehension about a future outcome that may or may not happen. So with the bear, for example, let's say we're going camping and we heard that bears are in the area. So we start to feel anxiety. What am I going to do? Will the bear be there? So those are important distinctions. And up to now in our culture, there have been two schools of thought about how to deal with anxiety at large within, let's say, you could say American culture or Western culture at least, and both of those are flawed. We're going to debunk both of them and talk about what we talked about with Amy, about the act of listening to that anxiety. The first is ignore the anxiety. Can you imagine if we had a smoke detector? Beep, 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 beep. They were like, I'm just going to go to this room now. It's like just bothering me. Yeah, it's better over here. We would never do that with a smoke detector, much like we can never dismiss the internal message that anxiety is trying to communicate to us. It's a compass. And it actually can lead us to feelings of resolution. So here's an incredible, incredible study. You can look this up as well. Arguably the most difficult and intricate types of procedures one could get is heart transplant, right? We know this. And so there's a lot of procedure, basically, like there's a lot of preamble to the procedure and a lot going on after it, right? And they collect a lot of data. Besides the biometric data, they ask, how are you feeling? Are you anxious? What's your mental state? What's your psychological state? Right? And they report it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'll put it to you. It's a question for you. For those people prior to their transplant who reported higher levels of anxiety, do you think that was associated with better outcomes with their procedure or worse outcomes? What do you think? Everyone thinks worse at first. It's entirely logical to think worse because if you, anecdotally, someone has a heart condition and they're stressed, and you're like, don't stress, your heart, don't do it. But data shows, look, I think there is a threshold of stress that we can't cross, right? But let's say we're talking about anxiety. We're specifically talking about anxiety. And it turns out that those people that report higher levels of anxiety have better outcomes. Why? Because maybe they listened to the message. Maybe they took their medications. Maybe they went to the doctors more often. Maybe they were voracious researchers on the internet. Maybe they listened to the doctor about what they should be eating or what their sleep patterns should be. And that, to me, is solid gold. I love the fact that it's a message, so we can't ignore. The next school of thought is to eliminate. Smoke detector. I'm just going to take the battery out of this thing. Okay, that's better. We can't eliminate the message of anxiety because it conveys a very, very detrimental message, let's say, to our students. If we eliminate the source of anxiety, then we're communicating to them that you're too fragile to deal with this. That's what we're doing. And I experienced this firsthand with my own daughter last year. She was 8 years old, just around this time. She was putting on her shoes. It was a rainy day. She has these like rain boot things that are stiff and hard to put on. And she was sitting on the step. I remember the look on her face. I'll tell you why. And it wasn't cooperating. And she did one of these things. Like that, right? And my heart immediately went out to her. But then I stopped what I was about to say because I remembered 3 days prior, I had the same exact moment. This is my daughter because I had the same exact thing in a different capacity It was 10:36 at night. I remember the time. It's just strange like that. I was to do the dishes. I was dilly-dallying. I didn't manage my time well. It's like, oh, I gotta do these dishes. So I started doing them and my hands were wet. And I was like, let me put the gloves on. So I put the gloves on and they wouldn't go on because my hands were wet and I did the same thing she did, right? Do you think in the moment that I was experiencing a thing that I want coaching from, let's say, my wife being like, honey, your hands are wet. You can't put on the gloves that way. That won't work. Do you think I wanted that feedback? I want her to like tell me how to eliminate my anxiety, basically. And so you think of it with a little kid, your students, anyone else, your parents, there's a lot of crossover. It's the same sentiment. That I could have said, let me loosen the laces for you. Let me pull the thing out. Let me help you with the tongue. Honey, honey this, honey that, honey the other. But I remembered what I did. And fortunately, that time, I was able to say, how can I help you? And just let it lie. Let it rest there. You know that the term safe space has been used a lot in our public lexicon, the cultural term, right? It's kind of a controversial term. I would like us to redefine safe space. I want to take the term back. I believe in safe spaces, but in this capacity. We're not safe from having big feelings. We're safe to have big feelings. And if that's the space that we can conjure in our classrooms for our students, safe to have those big feelings. The ability for them to listen to the message, to not judge themselves, to have curiosity about what the anxiety is trying to communicate, to come up with a plan. Then through that, instead of eliminating the smoke detector, it will gradually diminish on its own, and we actually empower the kid to deal with the life challenges that we are all presented with. It's no different than the argument that we have as adults. So, I want to show you something cool, because emotion is not a disorder. That's the takeaway. And having emotions is not something like let's not say I'm anxious anymore. Because, or let it, because I'm just anxious. Well, what are you trying to do? What can we do? How can we help you? This is a player named Vernon Davis, and he is interacting with his coach here at the time, Mike Singletary, who was a coach for 1 year, then he was fired because of moments like this. So imagine this is our student, and we are the coach, right? Is the message being heard right now? Is there something being communicated that's not listened to? In fact, you could even think about this metaphysically, right? If you know anything about internal family systems, that field of psychology, we're all composed of various parts. It's fascinating, you can look it up. We're all composed of various parts, and our anxiety is a part of us. It's not a demon, it's not a monster, it's not something that's a disorder. It's trying to communicate something to the self, in this case, the coach. So there's a metaphysical component. This very same player, the very next year, has this reaction, crying in the arms of his next coach by the name of Jim Harbaugh. And I find that fascinating, that if a professional can go from walled off and standoffish and closed down to crying in a space of 1 year, then what can we do with our students? What type of vulnerability can we create with them? Here's a video for it, of that moment.
Vernon Davis, Alex Smith, Frank Gore, a lot of these guys that have been here for a long time, fought through very difficult years with the 49ers, and what a great day this is for them right now. That's why they love this guy. They will do anything for this guy. Look at Jim Harbaugh with Vernon Davis. That is awesome.
A lot of this concept of anxiety I picked up from the Hidden Brain podcast. If you definitely want to check that out, it's a beautiful messaging system behind this. And the fact that our anxiety or fears, let's say of math or anything otherwise, can be learned. So back to the aforementioned daughter. If math, fear, or anxiety can be learned, then it can be unlearned. And this is one 5-year-old's take in closing about how math is not as scary as needles or haunted houses. And if one little girl can think that way about math, then maybe all of them can. What advice would you give to people that maybe are afraid of math?
It's okay. Don't be afraid. You can feel 2 feelings. That's fine. If you're nervous and you also want to do it, but there's no hitting, there's no slapping, there's no pushing, there's no grabbing, there's no of that, there's no haunted houses, there's no needles, there's no poking, there's no roughness. Just take it easy because there's none of that things. Okay, bossy pants? So now you poodles, bye-bye.
I love this so much because it's a state of pureness. Thank you. If you're invited now, if you'd like to sign up, it's totally invitational. It's all direct from me. If you'd like insights about how to connect to students, all written directly from me. That's the way to stay in touch with me and sign up. And other than that, I really appreciate it and thank you for your time for being here today.